Hello there. I am Pete, and I just sold my second business of 2025. And the good influencer in me thought, oh, I should probably record a video about it. No, seriously though. That said, I think I left a lot of money on the table building and selling this 12-month-old business. I think there are takeaways here for you and your business. Even if your business is completely different than mine, I have made sure that everybody can use these. Let's stop talking and dive right in. So in January 2024, I spent $1,200 to hire a company to do a service, and it took 6 weeks. And the deliverable, what they gave me, was a spreadsheet. And they did a good job too. That's not the thing, but it just so happened that it caught me at early 2024 when I was starting to get really good at like vibe coding software with AI. And so I thought, I just spent $1,200 in 6 weeks, and I got a spreadsheet. Can't I do like 80% of that with AI in like a minute and a half? And I did. By the way, I did like a very soft launch to my existing audience, my email subscribers, for like $39 lifetime, which was another mistake, by the way. I should have just started off with a monthly subscription because it actually went over really well. Made a couple $1,000s off these tiny sales. I should have started a subscription. That's a bonus mistake for you. I still think scratching your own itch, by far, the best way to guarantee that you know how to connect with customers. You know how to communicate to them. Copywriting comes a lot easier when you have literally experienced some pain point or challenge that your product solves, etc. And yeah, if your business fails hard, at least you can still use something. Even if no one else wants to buy it, even if you don't have another audience, hopefully you have a market of one. That would be you. After I soft launch, I wanted to get rid of it. I knew it's not something I wanted to do for years and years anyways. That's not the entrepreneur I am. So I tried to sell it for $15K. I had somebody reach out and say, hey, I could buy it for $15K, or you could take us on as 50-50 partners and we'll do some marketing. And I thought, this is win-win for me. And by the way, it was win-win. In retrospect, we'll get to that in just a moment down here, what that looks like. But over the summer, they had me change the app a lot, in good ways and bad ways. The good ways were they wanted me to actually improve the app. Less errors, less bugs, more features. Again, I'm using AI to do all this stuff. If you want to learn more about that, I have a program called codeplaybook.com where I teach people how to vibe code, non-developers. But I was doing it with AI, and I was trying to like make this app better. That's great. I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't got these partners who were going to promote the app. So that's absolutely something good. Something that I wish they would not have done, and it's not their fault, it's mine, was change the branding. I let them dictate a lot of changes. And by branding, I mean literally colors, logos, styling, the words on the page, copywriting. It sounded less and less like me. With every change that they suggested, I just kind of did blindly. I pushed back like once or twice. I probably should have pushed back more. And here's the thing. We think that if you're going to sell your business one day, you should make it something that the buyer wants to buy. You should remove yourself. I completely disagree with this. I have sold a couple of companies now, and the first one that I sold was 100% me. It was Pete. It didn't have my face all over it per se, but it was a little weird, silly, goofy. That's me. It was a very unique and interesting branding. Topical Map AI, my partners kind of drug everything to the middle. It was a little bland. It looked more like a software company than just something Pete created. I don't actually know if that was a positive. I think buyers are looking for something interesting. They want to make money. We're going to get to that in a second and how I could have made way more money. But they're also not going to notice these really bland, middle of the road, middle of the pack, doesn't stand out type of companies. That's what I think. And I let my partners push me a little bit too far towards the middle. I should have gone more towards the edges. It should have been even more wild and crazy and silly and goofy and on brand. Bigger, bolder letters, which is what I like. Stronger statements in the copywriting, and some more fun and quirky features that may not have been like straight up value adds, but it would have been interesting. Interesting. I'm going to say that word again just because this is what we should all create. In the world of AI and a million competitors, interesting gets attention, gets sales, and I made it less interesting. That's for sure. And by the way, your customers can do this too, not just my partners. I don't blame them, by the way. I blame me. Like I said, it was great for me taking on partners. They helped me out a lot. But your customers can also try and like push you. Hey, why don't you do this feature? Why don't you do that feature? Why don't you say this instead of that? You always need to take it as advice, but also weigh it through an objective lens on what do I want the business to be? Or what do I think the business needs to be? If you don't trust yourself for that, that's another issue which we can make another video about. But the point is, don't let other people push you around on your brand. Make it you. Make it interesting. Mistake number 3. This is the massive one. This one is the one that left, maybe even literally $1 million on the table. So I improved the app over summer 2024. I have a marketing partner now. August 2024, they start promoting. They do a few YouTube videos, a few mentions here and there, some social media, and some other stuff like that. And we get a lot of customers. Not like millions and millions, but like a pretty good amount. Like starting to grow for several weeks there. It's almost like a 10K a month business, and it looks like it could go to like 15, 20, 25, and then we can exit for 7 figures down here in the future. And then, oh, by the way, I'm doing like a ton of customer support. We're going to come back to this in a minute because I got a tip. I'm like working my tail off. And then September, the next month, up until today is August 2025, we let it ride. We stopped working. We got lazy and bored. And by lazy and bored, I mean I got lazy and bored. And there was a lack of interest, I think, from my partners, despite the fact that it was making great money there for a while. No marketing was done. No affiliate pitches, no YouTube videos, no emails, no social media, literally nothing. And I asked Claude.ai to simulate a revenue graph because I was going to take a screenshot, but I don't have access to Stripe anymore because I sold the company. So here's what it looks like. We launched, and then we made a little bit of money, and then they promoted it. Yay! We're making money. But then literally from September to now, it's just a little decline, a little decline, a little churn, a little churn, a little churn. And sure enough, if you don't actively work on your business, it will go down. That sounds so obvious, but I thought, this is part 2 of this mistake. Mistake number 1 was just kind of letting it ride. But why did I let it ride? Why didn't I sell it? Why didn't we sell it like right then? Even if there was not like 12 months of proof, it's because people kept telling me you need to have 12 months of revenue data. I think that's crap. I'm not saying it would have fetched like $1 million, especially when there was only like 2 or 3 months of income. No, for sure. But it's still going to fetch more than what this ended up fetching. This entire graph right here ended up fetching, I think, I'm kind of making this up. I don't know for sure because who can tell? But I think I would have gotten a bigger dollar amount even if I had discounted it heavily after those first month or 2 of new customers and growth and stuff like that. Even with like a little bit of churn there because we hadn't done any marketing, I think I would have got a lot more. I do. Even if it's not like a full 12 months, it would have shown people there is massive interest in this app. Here's what people asked me when I listed it for sale. And we're going to come back to this in just a moment. People asked me, explain the revenue drop. Explain this graph right here. Explain it to me. What happened? Over and over and over and over again. I had so many people that were interested in buying this because it was making good money there for a while. And as time went on, this continued to look like this. No marketing was done for me or my partners. And it was a huge mistake. Massive mistake. Didn't do anything with that. No marketing, nothing. I think the point here and the thing I'm going to do in the future is, even if it hasn't been 12 months, or even if there's something else that's like, oh, you should wait because of something arbitrary, then no, I'm just going to sell it. I don't care if you discount it a little bit because there's no 12 months of data or whatever. But I still think that's better than just letting a business die off. And it will decline if you stop working on it. It's an obvious lesson, but I didn't listen to myself. I didn't listen to that obvious lesson. I just kept going and let it do that. Very frustrating. Whew. Okay, now that was the biggest negative thing. That was the biggest mistake. I listed it for sale this past March 2025, after like 6, 7 months of nonstop decline, right? And I listed it based on the average like profits in this. Like the multiple I listed at was absolutely fine. I don't remember what it was, but it was like a very fair multiple. If the company had been around for like 7 years and the revenue was just like a straight horizontal line, like if it just made X amount of dollars per month, and you take like a sales multiple, like whatever that is, 3 times annual profit or whatever, it was very fair. It was very conservative, very affordable. But the problem was this revenue graph, right? That doesn't tell the entire picture. And so sure enough, I had a lot of interested buyers at a much higher price tag, and they kept asking me, explain this. Explain the decline. Explain the decline. Anyways, so I listed for sale. It is not sell. I continued to lower price. I actually bought out my partners because they weren't doing anything. And I wasn't doing anything either, by the way. So that's not a slight to them at all. This is my fault. I take responsibility for this. But nobody was doing anything, so I bought back my share of the business. I wish I had built it to sell. And in fact, there's a book called Built to Sell. Is that Gary? Wait, who? John Warlow? Is that right? Built to Sell? That doesn't seem right. Doesn't matter. One of the points is, even if you do not plan to sell your business, the act of building your business to sell is actually what you should be doing anyway. It's the proper way to run a business. And there's a few really specific things for me personally. Number one, my financials, like my record keeping and stuff, it was just kind of like, it wasn't sloppy per se, but it was definitely like just the stuff I do for my own businesses, knowing that no one else is going to look at it. So when you build to sell, other people are going to look at it. You want more details. You want it to be formatted a little bit better so it's easier to read, easier to follow. I wish I had done that a little bit more. Testimonials, I didn't spend a whole lot of time getting testimonials, but people want this. Buyers especially. And quite frankly, it's great marketing even if you don't sell. Use separate accounts to sign up for stuff. This is kind of weird. Like different email address. Create a different email address for your business and use that to sign up for third-party tools and services you might pay for or use or whatever. One of the big points here is a healthy business is one that is separate from you, your identity. You don't want to identify as your business. It's separate than you are, whether you're going to sell it or not. And I mean that like emotionally and literally. Literally in this, like use separate accounts to sign up for stuff. That makes it really easy to transition to a buyer. Okay, sure. But it also helps you stay emotionally separate, objective, from your business, which will help you make better decisions. You will make better business decisions if you are not emotionally tied up in its identity. I should have said that right from the start. You will make better business decisions if you are not tied into the business from an emotional identity standpoint. You are not your business. Anything you can do to keep it separate, I think is healthy. I really do. Yeah. Okay, bonus tip for the end of this video here. Onboarding is something I failed at miserably with this app. We did have a lot of churn. Churn meaning people who try it for a month, maybe even 2-3 months, and then cancel. That's churn. And it's normal to some degree. But I did not spend enough time with onboarding. And I mean like automated stuff too. Not like me doing a ton of work for each customer, but setting up a little email sequence, getting people into the documentation, teaching them how to use my product. That sounds really simple. And I had like a tiny bit of that, but man, I think it led to a lot of unhappy customers, more than was necessary. I think it was an easy fix. I think it was me sitting in front of my computer for like 3 days max and doing more teaching, tutorials, onboarding customers, I think would have went a long way. And I think I would have got more money for this app. I think there would have been less churn, for sure. And I didn't spend enough time on that. One other thing. It sounds obvious, but it's kind of not. When it comes to your product, your customers are stupid. They are. Like, even if they're smarter than you from an IQ standpoint, it doesn't matter. You know your product, your service, your business better than anyone else. That's pretty obvious, right? Except it's not. We like to think, oh, they'll be able to figure this out. Oh, they'll know where to click for this thing. Oh, they'll know how to use this. No, they don't. They've never really encountered your product before, and you need to teach them everything you know. There you go. Pretend every new customer is dumb, because compared to you, they are when it comes to your product. There you go. Bonus tip. All right, so that's all I got. If you want to see what I'm building next, I have 2 active projects and 1 more in the works, which I plan on growing and selling. And I try to build everything in public, so you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. You can join my weekly-ish newsletter at doyouevenblog.com or PeteMcPherson.com. Both have opt-ins somewhere on this page. Yeah, there it is, right there, PeteMcPherson.com. There's one at doyouevenblog.com. I send out a weekly-ish newsletter, super simple, not a lot of sales. Or you can follow me on X, which I'm not really proud to say anymore, but alas, I'm still there. X.com/doyouevenblog is where you can find me. And that's it. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer anything in the comments below this video. Please leave them there. And thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Adios.